Hello, and thank you for joining us again. Tonight's video will be a little different compared to the others because in this video, I will discuss a health issue my frogs recently had. My tank maintenance is on a schedule. I feed my frogs daily and they eat worms, pellets, and the occasional ghost shrimp. I test their water weekly before any water changes are done to make sure I'm not doing water changes in the middle of a nitrogen cycle. Saturday morning, 2 weeks ago, I woke up to my tank looking like this. All of my frogs shed their skin at the same time and never ate it. There was a large amount of uneaten skin in the tank, and that caused me to become alarmed. When I tested my water, there was no ammonia, nitrite, and low nitrates in the tank. The pH was a little lower than usual, but not enough to cause an issue. I was unsure if this was the early stages of a bacterial infection. I couldn't see any signs, but that doesn't mean that that's not occurring. I cleaned out all the skin using a gravel vacuum and then proceeded to clean the skin from the intake filter cap. When I removed the cap, Skittles, my Borealis female, got stuck on the filter intake. I was distracted by what I was dealing with and forgot to put my stopper. I removed her immediately and she swam away. I thought she would be okay because the suction on my filter didn't seem too powerful to cause her any damage. However, that evening, she was swimming strangely and my frogs were shedding again. I quarantined Skittles and decided to purchase some Marathon too. I read on the Xenopus Express webpage that this can be used to fight bacterial infections. I treated the hospital tank and then treated the main tank. Skittles passed away that night. I knew the mishap with the filter intake played a big role, and I blamed myself the whole time I was thinking about it. I continued to treat the main tank per the instructions. Treatment had to be applied daily without filtration or no carbon in the filtration. I turned the filter off. By the third day, they were looking better, so I removed the carbon and did a filter switch, as the water in the canister had been sitting for over 3 days. I did not want to agitate the situation. After turning the filtration back on, I noticed the shedding was starting again, and now this time Captain Morgan, my male Borealis, started to swim very lethargic. So I quarantined him and treated him separately. I just could not understand what was going on. I started to think about any changes I may have made before this happened. I did remember increasing the water pressure in the filtration to aerate the water a little more. That was the only change. My husband did say that it seems like ever since I did that was when the issue started. So I decided to decrease the water pressure, and the next day I could see the shedding stopped. After I cleaned all the skin this time around, there was no other skin cleanup. Captain Morgan passed away on the second day of quarantine. After the last day of Marathon treatment, I added carbon to the filter and completed a 25% water change per the instructions. Now, 2 full weeks after this happened, my surviving frogs are back to normal. I am saddened that I lost 2 frogs in the process, but at ease at the fact that I have survivors. I have been a frog hobbyist for 3 years, and it has been a learning experience. It had been a while since I lost any frogs, and although I lost some when I started, and then learned how to provide better care, it never gets easy to avoid the sadness that comes with a lost pet. Throughout my experience of being a frog hobbyist, I learned how to care for sick frogs, and even able to assist in bringing frogs back to health when they got sick. It's just hard when the things I have learned do not work and a frog does pass away. I will always remember Skittles and Captain Morgan, and will never forget how happy I was to see their interactions in the tank. I know many of us have lost tank animals, and the only advice I can give is to make note of hindsight and make sure that with every mistake, there is a lesson learned. We love all of our aquatic animals and should never think ill of ourselves when we lose one. Mistakes happen, and every mistake is learning experience. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a frogtastic day.